I, as a certified nerd, played Persona 5 during the 3 years of my high school life. Wow, that sounds so nerdy. I got my PlayStation 5 in the first year of high school in 2022. Yeah, kinda late, but I wasn't gonna buy that shit at the outrageous price it was at the time. Anyway, the first game I got for the system was Persona 5 Royale that came out for the third time. Wait, you got Persona 5 Royale as your first title for the PlayStation 5? Yes, I only really bought the PlayStation 5 to play God of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man 2, but those weren't out yet, and I wanted to try out this slick-looking JRPG, if you can understand that outdated word. So, I played the game as soon as my PlayStation 5 arrived, and it took me 3 years to beat. It is an awfully long game, but one that I'm very thankful that I played when I was in high school. So, let's see what was so great about Persona 5 Royale. As soon as I started playing the game, I fell in love with the style. So stylish and fast, the art style is just on point on everything in the game. The art, character design, enemy design, palaces, overworld, everything is fucking shining in a way that I can't say other than genius. And the goddamn UI is stunning. It is just polished to the brim that it's virtually flawless. I'll probably talk about this again, but somehow they made the UI better, in my opinion, when they made Persona 3 Reload. Also, one of the biggest aspects in Persona games, the outstanding soundtrack, is yet again here in perfect style, and is the first game that made me actually want to buy the soundtrack in physical media. I mean, I didn't buy it, but, you know. My favorite song is I Believe in the final part of the game. It just made my adrenaline explode.
I believe we can fly up in the sky. One day we may just be able to touch down on the star.
I'm not going to spoil much, so even if you haven't played the game yet, no worries. But you should really go and fucking play it by now. Anyways, the story is good most of the time. Yes. It's not a flawless story, but it has great moments that makes it up. Getting to know my friends and the way we made the Phantom Thieves was immensely fun. The first palace, in my opinion, was one of the best plots to get me immersed into the story. It was something that everyone can relate to. Not that there are a lot of perverted teachers around, but we all have had teachers we don't like and think they're evil or some shit like that. It's not let's save the princess, country, world, and the motivation for it is just perfect. To save a hot-looking chick from your classroom. And after seeing Kamoshida's real intentions in the palace and hearing what he has done to my new friends, it makes me want to take him down personally. And I want to know what happens when we steal the treasure that this weird-looking cat was talking about.
Don't call me a cat.
But I have to admit, the story does get a little bit too draggy near the end, but I do think it had a good recovery. Most of the love that I have for the game comes from the characters. It might sound like a full-on weeb, but they just feel so real. In a friend group, you have the kid you're best friends with, the kid that you have a crush on, the friend that's kind of annoying, the kid that's everybody's fucking mom. It just feels like a real-life group of friends, which was the first time I really felt that in a game. Games have that robotic feel when it comes to characters interacting together.
Ratchet, I do not know where I would be without you. You are my closest friend.
Not that I'm saying it's because the acting is bad, it's actually quite good most of the time. But you just don't get that real friends vibe. I can't say that Persona 5's writing is peak, but it does do a good job capturing the feeling of forming a group of friends. And another thing that I love about the game is there's every kind of character you simp over. So why don't we take a look? You have your typical classmate Garu type, the older senpai, her big sister Mommy, the rich bitch, the younger sister nerd, the lolicon, the teacher maid, the ill doctor, and finally the popular gymnastics girl. The best thing about them is that you can date them all at once. I mean, it's complete bonanza, but I mean, it's fucking good. But I of course had to NTR Morgana. I live in Korea, so I can actually relate to some of the school stuff in the game, like school uniforms and riding the subway train and coming home and having to take outraging tests. So it was kind of cool seeing my everyday life inside a game, but it was kind of a fantasy that you would get so many messages on your phone. Anyway, how they designed the game is very unique. It is a franchise formula at this point, but this is my first Persona game that I played, so this is my first experience with the overworld part and the isekai part. The balance, in my opinion, is near perfection. As a true Asian, I steamroll the palaces in one day as much as possible, and the boss the very next day. So when it's about time I get bored of battling, then I can go back to the daily gameplay and build confidence with friends. And if the term is long and I want to battle again, I always have the mementos to cover me for that. But I mean, I didn't really like the mementos that much because I did love that I could farm XP by ramming into stuff with a cat car, but I kind of wish that it was more than a reverse Tartarus. Okay, this is a sad story about me when I was in 2nd grade. Once I hit 2nd grade, I got placed into a classroom that I didn't know anybody. Literally no one. I was stranded, so I didn't go on the school trip, and I am not kidding. But while my friends were in a fucking island, I was in my room playing Persona going on a school trip. I didn't know there was such an event, but somehow I played the game the exact date that I was supposed to go on a real school trip, and I don't regret it. I heard that the kids in the room I was supposed to go into were watching Pokemon at the hotel while other kids were drinking booze. Yeah, I'm not sad at all. Anywho, time passes and I'm finally done with my exam and I beat the game and get my platinum trophy. In all seriousness, I'm A-okay. I have friends, it's just 2nd grade was shit. And now I graduated high school and going to college next month. So before that, I went to Japan with my friends and went to Shibuya and took some photos where I went so much in the game. Quite underwhelming if you ask me. Anyways, I'm playing Persona 3 Reload right now, so maybe I'll do a review of that when I'm done oiling Agus's gas hole. Peace!